just wanted to ask about another manager, really. Just because Nick has got his work permit now, is he someone whose methods that you've looked at all? Anyone that you've ever visited as part of your managerial development?
No, I once had a beer with him and Paul Mitchell, who I know, just because a casual beer, that was the night before a Leaders in Sport conference. So I met him there and we just chewed the fat like you do about football and the challenges, and obviously he was asking about Burnley at the time. It was a few years ago now, pre-pandemic, so probably 3 years ago I think it was. Excuse me. And Paul Mitchell had worked over with him and was ex-Tottenham and stuff like that. So I had a good chat with him about general stuff, but never really looked at his own individual work. But I know he's done some good work, of course.
I was just wondering then if you had any idea or any thoughts on what he might bring to the Premier League.
No, not particularly, because I'm sure, like most managers, they'll have a base that they work from, but equally, I would think he'll look around at the playing squad, the staff he's working with or introduced to. I believe there's kind of, or I get the feel from what's been reported, there's a kind of consultancy kind of background to it as well, possibly. No, I think he's well travelled enough to know that he'll have to learn about the players quickly and operate in, probably find the crossover, the style that he thinks will work and the style that will work, and I think there's always that crossover with a new manager, no matter who you are.
And do you know quite then what to expect from this weekend? Obviously, we know what Eddie's all about, but he's not necessarily had a fair amount of time to cross to the Newcastle squad.
Well, certainly, first things first, please see Eddie back. A lot of respect for him. He knows how to text him and said, well done, I hope it goes well, etc. Not against us, quite obviously, but himself and his staff. I think from what I saw the other night and possibly trying to add to the tempo of it, trying to get on the front foot a little bit more. Eddie likes to play more expansively, maybe a touch of that. But he'll still be finding, the best route with what he's got. Like I was just saying about Ralph Rangnick, finding the best mix of what your belief is and what you can do, and then what the belief is and what the players can do. And I think all managers go through that. And I think Eddie's been around the game long enough now, that's for sure, experienced enough to know that he'll have to find that mixture. And like all of us, you need to find it sooner rather than later. That's the way it goes. Sort of up and down start. Obviously, sending off the other night that affected the game. But no, I'm sure he's well aware of the task that is to be at a club like Newcastle. I imagine it to be the demand there to be doing better than they are doing.
When we spoke Johan earlier, he said it's a massive game, and he also described it as a fun game because of the respect. And Newcastle obviously still looking for their first win. So how do you see it?
Oh, I just see it as another game. They're all important games. We know that. We've only lost 1 in 8, but we've had a lot of draws. We equally know that. The fine margins we have to get on the right side of. Strong performance last night defensively, not so good offensively, but we have been better in that department more recently. We still maintain the belief in ourselves. We still maintain the belief in us going on the road and getting points on the board in the Premier League. So that will still be the main focus for us. Awareness of possible changes there. Possible change, as I said, tempo and changes in the style of what Eddie wants them to do. Still, no game's an easy game. Just because teams haven't got their first win and they're having a tough time and all the rest of it, no games are easy in the Premier League. So we have to go there with a firm jaw and ready to play.
Sure, what do you see as the stronger position to be in at the minute? Obviously, Newcastle potentially a lot of money to spend in January, but you have the experience and the togetherness with the squad that has seen you through numerous campaigns of staying in the Premier League. So forward, what do you feel is the stronger position to be in short term and then I suppose longer term?
Well, long term money is very beneficial. Short term, you've got to find a way. No matter what, money, no money, you've got to find a way. Getting points on the board, getting wins. Eddie will definitely know that from his time in the game. Long term, of course, money's beneficial. January window's tough no matter whether you got money or not. It does have its fair share of trials and tribulations and problems and all the rest of it. And then even if you do get players in that window, you've got a very short period of time to make it all work. So sometimes you're looking for the hand in glove moment when a player you sign, if they were to sign players, just hit the ground running. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. But money eventually is very, very helpful in the Premier League, without a doubt. The immediacy is without the money, so therefore working with the players you've got and trying to get wins on the board as quickly as possible.
Obviously Obviously, last night you mentioned Charlie and potential England thoughts as well. Certainly believing that he should be at least around those kind of thoughts. What do you feel then that he has to do to kind of enhance his chances of getting in and around that?
Well, I think last night he was certainly adding the balance of his play to the attacking side of things. I think he can still add to his detail going into the final third with his crossing capabilities and finding a pass into the box, not just a cross. Clever movement going into the box from the left-back position, which he is beginning to increase in his play, I think. Last night, defensively, absolutely outstanding. I was quite surprised. I think this is right. I think Traore got possibly man of the match. I couldn't see that. I thought Charlie was outstanding. Thought locked it down. Traore's a threat. We know that with his power and his pace. Apart from one breakaway when he hit the bar, of course. I just thought he was outstanding last night. And defenders still have to defend. That's what sometimes gets forgotten. And in the Premier League, it's very difficult. It was a tough game for us last night, having to defend well, having to defend as a unit. We did that well, and he played a massive part in that. And I think his performances all this season, he continues to grow, continues to mature, and I think he's going along really well at the moment.
And as a side, does the last two games come up the balance that you're looking for at the moment? Obviously, 3 goals at home to Palace and a clean sheet away at Wolves, and that taken from both games respectively.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. It's one of them weird things when you think, and you want to win every game, of course, but sometimes you come away from a game, certainly we did last night, and thought, no, that's a point gained. Tough game at Wolves, they're going well. They had a reaction from a bit of a flat performance before the weekend, so there was a reaction there, and I thought we dealt with it mostly. We've got to play a bit more, we've got to play a bit better with the ball. We have done actually recently, we've caused teams more problems than we did last night. 2 players went in, did very well, but we're still missing 2 important players. I've proved that over the years with Tarky and Weston. They come back into the fold, of course. Finding that balance, and we have done more latterly, but taking a clean sheet and a point away, you still can't overthink that. You've got to take that, and especially on the road in the Premier League.
Finally, from me, Sean, any update on Ashley Barnes as well?
Barnesy, like I say, it's going to be weeks. It's not going to be days. Hopefully not too many weeks, but it's a longer-term situation. Excuse me. Dale Stevens, we're monitoring through the COVID protocols, of course, so we'll come back in according to them. Bardo's got a niggly one. Shouldn't be too drastic, but probably won't get in the squad for the weekend. And then the 2 lads coming back, obviously, with Barnesy and Westy and Tarky.
John.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Pete Collins, PLP.
Hey, then, Sean.
Hiya.
Did last night's game show you one thing, even though you're in the bottom 3, that you can live with a top 6 side? And after all, I suppose you're unbeaten in 5 as well. So does that keep morale up?
I don't think we lack morale. I think we know we can compete. We know we've been competitive in previous seasons, and we have been this season. I will remind you, the stats for quality of chance has been good. Our general stats have been good this season against other seasons. There's always some to-ing and fro-in with stats, but generally we know our stats, forgetting about other stats of what we do. So there's been a lot of things that are very close to being right. I've never thought we were far away. Turning the draws into wins is obviously a very important factor going forwards. On the other hand, as you rightly said, you're playing good sides. Wolves are a good side. They're showing that. They definitely had a reaction from a flat one at the weekend and, came out with a bit more fizz in their game and a little bit more detail in their game. And I thought we dealt with that well. The creative side is something we continue to look at. We want to continue to improve chance creation and therefore, hopefully, goals as well.
Your defenders will have had a game last night against Traore and Jimenez, and really you look at the weekend and it's more of the same, isn't it, from Saint-Maximin and of course Callum Wilson.
Yeah, good players. They're a good outfit, Newcastle. Everyone knows that. They've had a tough start. That can happen. Teams often have a spell in the season. They're having a tough start rather than a spell during it. I think they're more than 2 players, but they are 2 good players for sure, and they are 2 players we'd have to, certainly if they're on the team sheet, we'll have to make sure our players are aware of, but they should be now. I said last night in one of the interviews, if you're a Premier League player now, the amount of coverage on these players, we show them our own analysis about the units, tactical, etc., etc. But, if you're a defender, you should know the players you're playing against in the Premier League because there's that much out there now just from watching. You don't always need our support with all the analysis. We give it to them, but you should know what you're up against, and I think our players will.
You could see on Eddie Howe's face how desperate he is to victory, particularly at St James's Park. And Kieran Clark makes that, pulls the shirt, he gets the red card. You could see in his face the desperation. Are you prepared for that back? You know it's coming.
Prepared. Sorry, I missed the last bit. I sort of heard the desperation bit. The last bit was
prepared for that sort of battle because you know it's going to come.
What the battle of? Sorry, the battle of someone getting sent off. I don't understand.
No, the desperation to win at home victory.
Oh yeah, well that should be right for every manager, surely. I think every manager's desperate for wins. Whether you're at the top of the table, I'm sure Tuchel was buzzing last night after getting a 2-1 down at Watford. I'm sure they were buzzing off that. If they didn't get one, I'm sure I'll certainly be looking forward to the next win, as I do. So I think the words of desperation and all that about managers getting wins, trust me, every manager in football will be desperate for their next win because that's what makes us tick. I love the development side of my players, but I really play to win. That's my mindset. Was a player, it is as a manager. So everyone's desperate for the next win, no matter what stage you are of the season, no matter what level you're at in the season. Everyone's desperate for the next win, I can assure you.
They're going to come thick and fast now, Sean, in the Christmas period. Are you a fan of it?
A fan of the... Sorry, it keeps going out. A fan of the Christmas period.
Terrible line, isn't it? So I'll call you back.
Yeah, I think I'm serious. It's not my ears, is it? No, sorry, it keeps cutting out key words. So, yeah, the games come thick and fast. I heard that bit.
Yeah, are you a fan of this Christmas period?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been there forever. It's respected for what it is, the way the game's scheduled. Ours is a bit softer than we've had it in the past, actually. The games over the real Christmas part that week are a little bit more flexible than we've had in the past. And we've often had them crunched together. But yeah, generally, it's a great time to be playing football. I certainly encourage my players to be ready for it because I think the games do come thick and fast, but it's a great chance to put wins together, runs together, the feel of performances together. I like my players to have that clear-mindedness of what it is, and the fixtures are there. So, they're there ready to play. So we'll be ready without a doubt.